A family was sitting quietly in the living room that evening, watching the horror movie The Deliverance, a story inspired by a real-life case from 2011 known as a demon house and associated with LaToya Ammons. At first, everything seemed quite ordinary. Another night with a great movie, popcorn and lights out. And then, in the middle of the most tense scene, the power went out. The living room was plunged into complete darkness in a second. The silence that followed was no ordinary silence. They say they felt a change in the air almost instantly. It was as if the temperature had dropped. It was as if someone or something had just walked into the room and stood behind them. Fear gripped them. Without much thought, everyone headed to their room, hoping that would be the end of it. But what entered their house that night, it didn't seem like it came just to watch them. Watch carefully. After that night, the family claims they never played another horror movie in that house again. They say that just the thought of such stories made them uncomfortable. Some viewers believe that movies based on real events can evoke something more than just fear, emotions, energy, maybe even attention you don't want to attract. Others, of course, think that everything was just a game of nerves. Suspenseful film, darkness, blackout. Enough for the imagination to do its job. But there's a third theory. The one who says that once something is announced, it doesn't always go away just because you want it to. And now the question remains, was it an isolated incident, a moment of panic in the dark night, or it was just the beginning of something waiting for the house to fall silent again? What do you think? The family dog suddenly started behaving strangely. One moment he was calm, and the next, frozen, completely focused on part of the room where, at first glance, there was nothing. His gaze follows the void. His eyes are wide open, his body tense, as if he is ready to react at any moment. And what is the most terrifying? He does not take his eyes off. The others in the room see absolutely nothing, but the dog obviously sees. Watch carefully.
Shh. You're crazy.
There are two things that immediately catch the eye. First, the family doesn't seem worried at all. They take everything lightly, as if the dog just heard a sound or is simply looking for attention. Second, when the dog becomes more and more restless, instead of checking what's going on, they silence him. They calm him down, as if they want him to stop. That moment was the most unpleasant for many viewers. There is a belief that animals notice changes in space long before humans become aware of them. They feel a tension, a change in energy, a presence that we cannot explain. But what makes the situation even stranger is the fact that only one dog reacts. So what do you think? Is it a hypersensitive pet that reacts for no reason, or the only one in that house who realized that they're not alone? One delivery girl named Leah filmed her route while picking up packages from a local warehouse. She worked at that location for months. Everything was familiar to her. Nothing unusual has ever happened before. But that day, as soon as she stepped inside, something wasn't right. It wasn't a sense of imminent danger, more like a silent alarm somewhere in the pit of my stomach. It was as if the space was the same, but the atmosphere was completely different. She paused for a moment, and then she still didn't know that this feeling was not without reason. Let's watch the footage.
These people think I'm crazy. Y'all, look at. Just look. Y'all see? Yo, watch this.
As Leah goes deeper into the facility, the camera pans over long rows of metal boxes. Most of them are closed and locked, but a few of them, right in the middle of the space, are standing open. It confuses her. He walks over and closes the doors one by one, checking that they are ajar. It seems routine. Nothing unusual. He takes a few steps back. And then something happens that she didn't expect. From a short distance, the camera captures a blood-curdling moment. One of the boxes she just closed starts to creak softly. The sound of metal moving through the silence echoes through the warehouse. The door slowly opens. No recoil. No sudden movement. They just spread apart on their own until they're wide open. There's no one around. No one approaches them. No one touches them. And what started them never appears in the frame. On December 8, 2025, a man named Stephen recorded a disturbing video in his own bedroom. Footage that left him genuinely concerned, especially for his young daughter. Namely, the girl often plays in that room, sometimes alone, while there's no one around. It all started when Stephen was alone in the room that day. For no particular reason, he turned on the camera. At that moment, he did not expect anything out of the ordinary. But what he noted made him wonder if his daughter was really safe in what they thought was the safest part of the house. And the video that was created still has no clear explanation. Let's watch the footage. The bedroom door suddenly opens slightly. They stop for a moment, as if someone is standing on the other side. And then, the light suddenly goes out. In the same split second, the door slams shut. What makes the whole scene even more gruesome is the fact that on the video you can clearly see and also hear how the light switch itself moves to the off position. All this just moments before the door slams shut. After that, it became apparent that this was not something that could easily be explained away by a draft, malfunction, or chance. And it's quite clear why Stephen became concerned about his daughter, who often plays alone in that room. But the real discomfort comes later, when he revisited an older video of his daughter, taken before the door incident. He noticed a detail that had completely escaped him at the time. Something he didn't see at the time. Something that made him visibly upset. Watch carefully.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I will catch it.
Oh, you want to catch it and then put it?
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh.
This is too small.
Sorry. It's too small, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean, you hit SpongeBob, though. Yay! Last one. 3, 1.
No, you should say 3.
Huh? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
You should say 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go. In the basket. In the basket.
Go again.
Okay.
And Stephen was not even aware of it at that moment. The video shows how one strip on the blinds is slowly moving. It seems to lift itself up. It lingers for a moment, and then quietly returns to its place. A few seconds later, the same thing happens again. It's as if someone is trying to peek through a small opening. The creepiest part? The blinds are located on the inside of the room. Stephen later explained that the bedroom was on the second floor of the house. There is no terrace under the window, no platform, nothing for anyone to lean on. In other words, no one could stand outside, let alone reach the blinds and move them. So what exactly was moving? And more importantly, was it there while his daughter was playing alone in that room? Let's watch the footage.
So this right here is the room where it actually happened. Hey. So I was just sitting here with my daughter. Well, she was actually on the bed playing with her toys that she always plays with. All of a sudden, I didn't understand what was going on, because the only way you can move the blinds is if you're inside the room. There's no possible way that someone can move the blinds from the outside of the room. There's no possible way somebody can just come up here and move the blinds from the inside.
However, that was not the only detail that Stephen later noticed. In the footage from the security camera he installed in the bedroom, recorded during the same time period, he noticed something else disturbing, something that did not catch his eye in the first viewing. It wasn't until he slowed down the footage and paid more attention to background that he realized there was movement in the frame that he couldn't easily explain, a detail that seems subtle, but once you notice it, it's impossible to ignore. And that very moment made the whole situation much more serious than he first thought. Let's watch the footage.
Okay, so I might just be rambling, but I just want to bring up security footage, POV from when it happened. I'm just going to zoom in and you just tell me what you see.
It's too small. Oh, you got it.
There are no fingers. There are no fingers in the middle of this. Nobody's moving the blinds.
No. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
The only way someone will be able to open that window is from the left to the right side.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Yeah.
There you go.
Even when outside of the house,
Sorry.
is from the left to the right. There was no opening in the middle, even on the outside or the inside.
Yeah!
You would need to step on the stepping stones
Yay!
to get on that.
Yeah! You want the
So I
small
don't
one?
know.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, oh. Sorry. It's too small. Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean,
What really happened in that bedroom has no clear explanation to this day. Regardless of theories, recordings, and attempts at rational thinking, the answer is missing, and it is precisely this uncertainty that makes the whole story so creepy. Because sometimes the scariest thing is not what we see, already what we cannot explain. In this next video, a woman shares how she lived with a growing sense of being watched. It wasn't all the time, but often enough to make her uncomfortable. Sometimes she would catch movement out of the corner of her eye, but as soon as she turned around, nothing was there. At night, she would occasionally hear a soft noise from other parts of the house. Soft sounds of movement, as if something is adjusting its position. And then one evening, while she was in her room, something happened that completely shocked her. Watch carefully. If you look closely, the shower curtain is suddenly pulled aside. There was no open window nearby, nor any wind or airflow strong enough to cause such a movement. It seemed like something physically pulled back the curtain. That moment changed everything for her. She decided to place cameras all over the house, in the hallway, living room, and next to her bedroom, exactly where she felt the most discomfort. A few days later, while she was out, her phone rang with a motion alert. When she opened the app, this is what she saw. Watch carefully. First, the chair by the window begins to move on its own. Then, the door creaks slowly as it opens, as if someone has entered. And suddenly, the sound of objects scattering on the floor. For her, it was a confirmation of her worst fears. What drew the curtain in the shower was not limited to one place. It moved freely throughout the house. Some viewers believe it is the presence of an unseen entity, something that observes her but reveals itself only in fragments. Until new explanations or footage arrives, the entire incident remains unsolved.